excuse me, Catus Maximus here, this time with a little review of a little novelty, or I thought it was novelty, I should say jeweler's anvil. And the reason I say it's a much more than a jeweler's item, or a, God, I'm all mixed up here, than a novelty item is it's just really well finished, no rust, and it has an odd kind of discoloration. Well, there's a little bit of surface rust, but part of it is that there isn't any kind of deep rust on it. Indicating that maybe alloy steel. Secondly, it just has some kind of odd discolorations indicating that may have been oil hardened. I've actually found novelty anvils such as this young. This is a cast bronze, I believe, and you can see it's just cast and they just did a basic sanding. This one does have the Pritchard hole, which is just a hole so you can punch through items on an anvil. Otherwise, you can see that this one is just really is just a novelty item. This one is just beautifully finished. I mean, it really is well finished. A little bit of a flat on the horn there, but just all the surfaces on this thing have been finely ground, or I should say hand sanded, because it's not perfect. But somebody put a bunch of time into finishing this anvil. So if it was a novelty item, this was not a $20 anvil. Anyway, this thing probably weighs a couple, 3 pounds, and I thought, I'll pick it up because one, it's kind of a neat item, and two, a little novelty or a little anvil like that is handy for smaller jobs. To tell you the truth, sometimes with a big anvil it's a little bit difficult. But if you have, wow, that's a really low quality paper clip here. It's one of the lowest quality paper clips. Never had one that quite broke apart like that. Anyway, my little demonstration here is, of course, when you want to, say in this case, work on a little piece of wire. I guess I'll use this end. It's just a nice little anvil to go ahead and use. Now, as far as like a ring test, it's so small it's kind of hard. A ring test is to identify if you have a hardened top plate on the anvil. Most anvils are still cast steel, and then they like forge weld or attach a harder piece of steel on the actual hammering surface at the top. And then you like drop a ball bearing or just let a hammer lightly fall, and it will ring, and how far the hammer rebounds can help you identify whether or not the top surface of the anvil is hardened. But it's, once again, pretty hard on this. But I've actually used this a few times for things just like this, when I have little pieces of metal or something like that that I've really needed to just try to straighten out. It's actually handy just to have a small little anvil to go ahead and do that with. Maybe I have something round that I'm just trying to round out a little more, and that's what's great about the horn. Usually I'll have it stuck down, I'll just put it on top of a pretty strong magnet, or just use a C-clamp to hold it to something when I am doing a little bit more work with the horn. But I've used it a bit, admittedly on softer stuff, but there just is no wear on the top, so that also helps me indicate that it isn't just, you know, cast mild steel. So anyway, that was kind of the purpose of this video, is that surprisingly enough, there are high quality little tiny anvils. The only odd thing that I don't think this is really what kind of makes me think that it may be either a homemade item or maybe something along those lines is there just is no markings whatsoever on it. Just not even a hint of any type of stamp, and you would think even somebody who made this at home would have put like their initials or something on it with all the work that's gone into it, so I find that just a little bit strange. Anyway, this is a neat little item. I really appreciate everybody who's been watching and subscribing, and if you haven't subscribed, please do. Until next time, Catus Maximus out.